What's up? Today I'm going to teach you guys how you can create this sick stop motion paper rip effect from the 21 Savage Red Rum music video. Let's go.
Really? What is it, Max?
My name is Evan Wynn. Welcome to 11% Tutorials. Once again, as I mentioned, today we're going to be creating this sick paper stop motion rip effect from this music video. It is absolutely insane. I know there's been different iterations and versions of mixed media effects being used in modern day music videos, but this one particularly stood out to me as it was just really interesting and just added a lot of cool texture, and it's also really simple to recreate. Today in this video, there's going to be two parts to this tutorial: a practical part where you're going to have to go outside and actually film some content, and then the post-production part where we're going to be editing this in After Effects. All you'll be needing for this tutorial is a bunch of different shots of yourself and After Effects. And once again, it's a very particular effect, so you're gonna have to have a certain amount of specific shots. So if you already shot the music video and you're trying to incorporate this effect, you might have some difficulties. But before we hop into this tutorial, I do want to mention really quick, if you're interested in saving some time and not having to recreate all these effects from scratch by watching these tutorials, you can check out our store, 11%.net. There we drop an insane amount of preset packs. We have some crazy effects, such as our paint animation stop motion preset pack. We have title card presets. We even just dropped a CRT glitch overlay preset, and there's just a bunch of other crazy overlays and MoGRT files that you can use for your music video and film projects. All of our presets are super easy to use, and they come with instant download and a video tutorial on how to use them. So once again, if you're interested in saving some time with your video edits and upping your visual effects, definitely make sure to check out 11%.net, linked in the description. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. Alright guys, so now that we're inside of After Effects, the first thing that you're going to do is you obviously want to import all of your clips in right here. So this is the reason why we're filming in 4K, because I have all my clips, and we're going to want to make sure that we can line them up as closely as we possibly can with each other. So once you've done a pretty decent job of just trying to line them up as close as you can, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our tracker, and we are going to track the motion of each clip. So it's not going to be that tedious depending on how shaky your footage is. I shot all this on a tripod, so it was pretty easy for me. We're just going to go ahead and hit the stabilize motion key. A little box is going to appear. You're just going to drag the little frames of the outside box pretty medium, and then the inner box is going to be the exact set of frames that is going to be tracked throughout the entire thing. So the outside frame is just where the inside box is going to move throughout the frame. Kind of confusing to explain, but you'll see as we play it out. So when we're going to hit this play button, you're going to see I'm tracking my nose right now, and honestly it did a pretty good job the first time. There were a couple jumps, but those shouldn't be too much of a problem. So as you can see, the inner box, which was my nostril, was tracked the entire time, and the outer box is the range that it could move throughout the frame. So I'm just going to hit apply, and it's going to hit X and Y, hit OK, and then boom. Now you can see if we play this out, we have a nice motion tracked area to my nose. So if you hold your mouse over my nose, it stays in the exact same position the entire frame. So now let's go ahead and just do that for every other clip. That's why I only recommend recording around 4 takes, because you don't want to have to do too much tracking, and especially because it's such a short clip. But for this part of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and speed this portion up. And boom, once you have motion tracked and stabilized the motion of every single clip, we can just go ahead and turn on the visibility for each clip. And now if you play this out, you can see all of our clips are stabilized. And it's a pretty cool looking effect already. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead, and I like to just go ahead one by one and line these up with a graph. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer. I'm going to hit layer and hit new. I'm going to create a new solid and just name it whatever, it doesn't matter. We're going to come to our effects and presets, and we're going to search for the grid effect, and I'm just going to drag this grid to our black solid. Now boom, now we have a nice little grid that we can just go ahead and line each clip up with. This isn't mandatory, but I just like to do it for good measure. I'm going to make sure that I lock this black solid layer so that it doesn't move. And then let's just go ahead and line up each clip. So I know the center line of this grid right here is the center, obviously. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to line my face up with the exact center, because I know that's where my tracking is. It's on the nostril. Then I'm just going to go ahead and turn the visibility off there and just line up each face with the exact center, and try to keep my eyes in these two boxes right here. It's just a good point of reference right here that we can keep track of. Just lining these up. And boom, once we have aligned each of our clips up with this graph grid, we can just go ahead, turn off this lock and just delete this. We don't need this grid anymore. Now it's time to get into the actual effect. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and find a nice little spot where we want the effect to start. I'm gonna start it a couple frames in, right around here at this 16 frame mark. And I'm just gonna select these top 3 layers by holding shift and trim them down up to right here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and go 3 frames each. That's a good measure, rule of thumb for this this effect. And by the way, our composition setting is in 24 frames per second. Yes, 24 frames per second. So 3 frames each, and I'm just gonna drag and cut that in. And then another 3 frames. So we have this nice little staircase looking edit. And then I'm gonna go 3 frames after on that last final clip. And I'm just going to select the rest of these 3 and hit Command-Shift-D to cut these layers. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim all these 3 more frames to the right. So we have 3 more frames. We have a nice blank gap. I'm gonna hold Command, select these top 2 layers, move them in 3 more frames, as you guessed it again. And then I'm just gonna grab this top first layer and drag it 3 more frames in. So now we have this nice staircase looking effect. And if you play that out, we have this nice like cut through flash effect. And also, by the way, I'm gonna go 3 more frames after that and then select all these right here and then just hit Command-Shift-D so I can trim those off so that it just ends with the exact same clip that it began on. So now that you play that out, we have this nice like flash through effect between all of our frames, our video clips, and it honestly looks pretty cool. And because we tracked it all onto our nose and we lined up all of our noses on the exact same grid point, it's looking pretty good if you ask me. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add the actual rip and like cut effect that is in the 21 Savage Red Rum music video. So what I'm gonna do for this part is, first thing at first is I'm just gonna go ahead and trim all these stairs. I'm gonna split them into layers of 2. So I'm gonna come to this first clip right here, and right where it cuts to the next clip, I'm going to hit Command-Shift-D on the layer below it so that we split that layer. And then we're gonna do the same thing for that next layer, hit Command-Shift-D right where it cuts to the next clip. And then we're just gonna do that for this next little staircase over here, Command-Shift-D, and boom. Now once we have separated all these staircases, so like the layers below them are cut into different layers, now it's time to go ahead and start applying our effects. So I'm gonna come over here to this first layer and I'm just gonna draw a very simple mask. So I'm gonna zoom out, I'm gonna grab my pen tool, and I'm just gonna draw a direct like mask line down the middle. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but you know, the closer the better. See, that's a pretty good mask. I'm not gonna lie, like our lineup on that face is pretty good. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and go to this mask, hit the drop down on the mask and increase the mask feather to something like 40, 45-ish. That's pretty good. And then what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and select this mask, hit edit and copy it. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and paste it to these top 2 layers, not the layers that we cut below it and just like left those, specifically not those layers. That's the exact reason why we split those layers. So just these top 2 layers right here, we're going to select both of them by holding Command, and then we're gonna hit edit, and then we're just going to simply hit paste, and boom. Now you can see we have a mask effect. Now some of the masks might line up different, so what you can do to fix that is you can just simply hit the drop down on the mask and then just change that position. So let's just go ahead and move that mask over, and same for this last one over here. And we're just gonna go ahead and adjust that mask so that it is in the direct center point. And now once you play that out, boom, we have this nice split half two-face effect going on right here. And now we're just gonna do the exact same thing for this other staircase, but you guessed it, we're gonna do it horizontal. So not vertical, but we're gonna be doing this one horizontal. So all I'm gonna do right here is I'm just going to, once again, create some mask. So I'm just gonna go ahead and speed this portion up. And boom, once you've completed all the masks, you can see we have this nice, sick, like different masking effect, and it's already kind of looking like the basis of this effect from the actual music video. And now you guessed it, it's time to go ahead and add in that rip paper texture looking stop motion effect. Now for this part, I'm going to be using an overlay that I actually created myself in Premiere Pro. It's basically just gonna be this little simple paper rip texture animation that I created off of some images that I got off of Google. But if you would like to get this exact image file right here completely for free and use this exact file that we're using for this edit, all you have to do is just click the link in the description, sign up at our website, and you'll get an email containing a link to this file and some other samples of our presets from our preset store, 11%.net. By the way, we just dropped this dope paper like paint stop motion texture pack, which is super dope, and it'd probably work really great with this edit as well. And it'll just definitely help enhance your edits as well. So if you're interested, make sure to check out 11%.net and make sure to sign up so you can get this free link right here so that you can incorporate this little animation into your own edits as well. All right, so now once I've dragged this paper texture in, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the blending mode to screen. You guessed it. And now we have this nice paper texture effect going over our video. So this paper texture effect is originally horizontal, but it's not too hard. We can easily just go ahead and flip that vertical if we want for the first first part of our edit. So I'm just gonna make sure I go ahead and split this by hitting Command-Shift-D at the part where it goes vertical. Now at this part where it goes vertical, now this is where we might have to do some aligning. So the effect is not gonna be perfect already. You know, it's a tough one. This is a really tough effect and a really time consuming effect. I'm not gonna lie, but we're just gonna have to go, you know, by the eye. We're just gonna have to eye it out and see how everything is lining up. So if some parts of the edit aren't lining up, what you can do is you can basically just go ahead and adjust the mask if you need to, or you can just go ahead and scale some parts up. So like this part of this video right here is a little bit too big. I might go ahead and scale that down so that it fits, and boom, there you go. Now it fits in the video. So you're just gonna have to scrub through your video effect like frame by frame really. In some frames you're gonna be looking like an absolute like, bro, what is this? I look like some like rip-off version of Batman right here. But anyways, you're just gonna have to go in and manually adjust those. I know it's kind of a pain, but this is really how you can get the best look for your effect. So I'm just gonna go ahead and actually draw in some like manual pen tool points so that the mask lines up perfectly, and boom, there you go. And now for this first part of the video right here, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hit the drop down on this paper texture animation, and I'm just going to change the rotation to 90 degrees right here like that. And then I'm just gonna hold shift and scale it down so it lines up pretty much in the center. And now we're just gonna go ahead and make sure that it lines up with our frame. And oh, wow, that one was actually pretty good for this first part of the video. And boom, there you go, guys. We have a sick, nice paper texture effect. Just make sure you go ahead and trim that down so it doesn't play out for the rest of your video. Command-Shift-D and delete the rest of this part. And boom, there we go, guys. We have a dope looking paper rip texture effect. Now that could pretty much be it, but if you're like me and you love to just go the extra mile, what I definitely recommend doing is looking for some paper texture like animations or just like visuals that you can go ahead to add some more texture to this. This one, shout out to my boy Creative Flow. Check out his channel. He has some dope tutorials, but Creative Flow is really a master at just this authentic paper looking like mixed media effect. And he was actually kind enough to go ahead and send me his preset pack. So I definitely recommend making sure you go check out his website, creativeflowmarket.com. And like I said, he has a bunch of crazy preset packs. This one right here, this mixed media texture pack, is one of my favorites. And this is the one that I'm gonna be using for today's edit. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag in number 14 of his preset. I'm just gonna go ahead, right click that, and then transform and just fit it to the composition size. And then I'm gonna change the blending mode to screen. And I'm simply just going to trim this over directly only when the rip effect applies. And if you play that out, boom, you can see we have this nice paper, like grainy texture, and makes it feel more authentic and like it's like a real actual rip paper. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much the final effect. Once again, don't copy this tutorial down to the exact nitty-gritty details. Mess around with these effects, make it your own, make it unique. And with that, here is the final result. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you again so much for watching. If you managed to find any value or help from this video, please be sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe. It's free. All this content is free, so really it'd mean the world to me. Once again, if you're interested in upping your visual effects, make sure to check out 11%.net. There we're dropping insane preset packs, and we're continuing to drop more and more preset packs. Seriously, trust me when I say this, it'll save you so much time when you're editing, and also just make your effects look a lot better. Particularly our paint stop motion animation preset pack. I think this animation preset will go particularly well with the effect that we created in today's video. So if you're interested, definitely make sure to check it out at 11%.net, also linked in the description. And not to forget to mention, if you're interested in selling on our store 11%.net and earning some passive income as a video editor, so you don't have to rely on untrustworthy clients for your income, definitely make sure to check out our seller application form in the description. We give all of our preset sellers an astounding 89% of their profit proceeds. So that means you pretty much keep all of your profits compared to selling on sites like Envato Elements or MotionArray.com. And plus, you don't have to do any marketing campaigns or growing an audience, because you'll be selling to our audience of thousands of music video editors and visual effects artists. So once again, if you're interested in becoming a preset pack seller and making some extra passive income on the side, make sure to check out the link in the description. It's all free, no upfront costs or anything like that. But once again, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a comment below for any recommendations on any visual effects tutorials that you'd like to see from us in the future. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.